All right. And we're currently recording at the moment, so we'll go with what we have.
Okay.
So you want to call yourself retired is what you want to call
Well,
yourself?
no, I'd like to call myself retired because it's no fun being here with you.
Well, that's great.
I think you should record.
It is being recorded. It's been recorded since the beginning. We're pretty bad at this, apparently.
I think we're doing great.
Well, at least it started out. It's like a barbershop type of deal, I suppose.
Right.
All right.
So you being the topic master,
I will come up with the topic.
You come up with the topic, and we'll discuss it.
All right. Well, currently at the moment, we're calling this podcast, Can We Have a Conversation?
Okay. That sounds good.
And I suppose we'll just use our names. I am Tavon Brown, and the co-host is Eric Newmark, and we're going to have a conversation based on today's hot topics. And the current topic that we're going to look into is the current administration of the United States of America. Let's see here.
Are you referring to the band of thieves?
Well, yeah, I mean, whatever you want to call them. I call them insane, but...
Well, that too.
All right. Well, the current hot topic is the explosion of the coronavirus in all the red states in America, including this state that we're currently a part of, the great state of Florida.
Well, in studying the timeline, we knew about this last November.
Of course. I've been saying that for a while. Because if we know something...
They're saying January.
But it was way in November. Yes.
November, they knew it was coming.
It was coming back then, yeah. They've forgiven it.
The problem, as I see it, is at the top.
Of course, it always starts. Like I say, the fish rots from the head.
The buck, Harry Truman had a sign on his desk. The buck stops here. But
that doesn't work for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, being the great historian that he is,
stop somewhere else.
He never would think of something like that.
Well, he did think about it. Remember, he said the buck stops over there.
Right.
It's just not here.
The buck always stops at somebody else's desk.
Exactly.
He does not take responsibility for anything.
We got to also then look back. George W. was an idiot.
Not the brightest guy, but not the stupidest either, because Trump has far surpassed
Of course. But remember, George W. at least was smart enough to say, in the Oval Office, there's nowhere to hide. At least he was smart enough to say that. But when they said that to Trump, he was like, well, there are places to hide. I got a corner over there. I got a corner over there. He's an idiot.
He is. He's a complete moron.
Well, so how do you see this ending for our state?
What people don't realize is not only is he not a worldly person,
no,
he's an evil person.
Well, that's true.
He only is motivated by one thing, and that is money.
Yeah.
He would throw his daughter under a bus.
He did.
For money.
He's doing it to his niece, and he did it to Tiffany, who is his daughter. Right. So he's suing his niece and saying, you have a what is it, like a no disclosure agreement, an NDA, with our family, that you can't tell people what's going on outside of the family. So that's his excuse is, you have an NDA with me. You can't tell them. It's like, wait a minute, how do you have an NDA with your own family? Like, what goes on in that house?
Well, maybe the Trump organization pays her.
Maybe in some way.
And if I had my little empire and was paying all my sons to for whatever reason, I'd make them have that also if I was him.
Well, I guess
but most people don't look at their siblings,
like business associates,
like potential threats to his empire.
Do you think that a person like what is his name, Buffett? You think Buffett has NDAs with his family?
No. Why should he? He's a normal person.
Well, he's a wealthy normal person.
But a non-disclosure is when you're doing something illegal or off color.
Yeah, that you don't want people to know about.
And it would put you in jeopardy if they told that you were committing income tax evasion, which he is.
Or infidelity or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. But anyway, back to the topic. The topic of this discussion is what do you think that the coronavirus is going to end up looking like here in Florida? The numbers are spiking.
Having worked on the west coast of Florida,
the red coast
of Florida, in the past 3 or 4 weeks,
4 weeks. I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks.
The number of people wearing masks
0
was roughly 50%. This is what of what I saw people wearing masks here.
Oh, that's not really that much to begin with.
And living in an older community, everybody was wearing a mask because everybody
was afraid. Yeah,
everybody
should still be afraid,
and they should be afraid of it because it will kill them.
Are they still wearing masks now?
The older people, yes.
Even the ones that are like hardcore Fox News Trump supporters?
Where I live, there are not a lot of Trump supporters.
Really?
Where the lady who worked for the accounting firm that I used, she moved to a place called The Villages.
I know what The Villages are.
And she said that most of the people there are Trump supporters.
Without a doubt.
And none of them were wearing masks. Excuse me one sec.
Help.
If I knew where I put it.
I would like to pause it, but I can't. Well, I could.
Okay. So is he cut up bad, or did he break a bone, or just cut? Okay. Okay. Well, go to Port Royale. No, I can't leave now. I got a guy coming in for a job in 5 minutes, and I have to finish up something with Tavon, and then I'll leave. Waterhouse? Goodbye.
I'll cut that out and edit. I can cut that out. But okay. So you were saying?
I'm saying that I have to assume that people from the red states have watched Fox News or One America News.
Oh God, yes, okay.
But the ones that listen to Fox News have been fed a line of crap for the last, ever since Trump even began running.
I think they've been doing it since 2000.
Right.
Insanity.
And what I don't understand is Rupert Murdoch or his family. I don't know if he's still alive.
No, well, he doesn't. You're right. He still owns Fox News.
Okay. Yeah. Now, his tax cut because of the administration must have been in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. So. And so naturally, they're trying to catch up to the coattails and just keep right on getting that tax cut.
But that's insane. You're doing it to the detriment in the lives of people.
They don't care.
It's insane.
It's Donald Trump's pocket is the only thing that matters to him.
Did you see the reporting of the people for the rally? They're already out there for the rally that's going on in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the people are saying, "If I die,"
they don't care. All they care about is voting for Trump.
And that is the weirdest thing. That's no longer being American.
They don't care about America. They have become the masses that were swooning at Adolf Hitler as he went by. These people, I don't know how they can call themselves Americans. Several years ago, we went to a wedding in Ohio, which is pretty Trumpian.
Of course. Well, not anymore, but yes, originally.
Originally. And we stayed in a town that probably had the only hotel in the area, and this town was like right out of the 60s.
No evolution.
I think it was Massey Ferguson, a tractor company, moved out. That was the only income producer
that
other than farming in the area. And then we traveled about a half hour to a church that was 100 years old, which was really very pretty, but definitely 100 years old because the rain was coming through the roof.
Oh, God.
And then we traveled 35 or 40 minutes to a farm. And one of the things that I noticed were all the gold stars on the houses of
the children, like the parents.
They were gold star families.
Yeah, they were soldiers,
and the gold stars were made out of wood on the eaves of the front of the house.
To let you know, this is a gold star military family.
Lost somebody in World War II, or lost somebody in Korea, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the case.
And given the fact that Trump is a draft evader.
Yeah, he is. He's a dodger.
Okay. Given the fact that he's insulted the
Gold Star
military
family
on countless occasions.
Yes.
One of the things he said was in front of a whole bunch of 4-star or 3-star generals that
he knows more
I
than
wouldn't
him.
go to war with you. He made some kind of disparaging remark.
Yeah, he said something about he knows more than they know.
Right. Yeah, he said Donald Trump is the world's leading expert of nothing.
He's an expert at nothing. I got that.
Okay. How could these people latch on to him? What's wrong with them?
I mean, I got my opinions, and we all have opinions. Oh, well, my opinion is he represents something that we don't want him to or accept him to represent. He represents the hate of color, the loss of something. Because for me, as a colored person, to gain something, you as a white person must lose something. And he's like, I don't want to lose anything. I don't want you to be up here with me. I want you to be down here.
But that's as I see it, the Republican Party has always been
corporate.
They have always wanted the worker to be a worker, and never
an owner.
Why would we ever want to let you onto our little private island?
That's true. That's true.
So I mean, that's my opinion.
No, that's the truth. It's not, even if it's your opinion, it's the true opinion.
Right. So why would these workers, these farmers, these working class people ever want to attach themselves to his?
Well, because remember, the idea of the Republicanism was under Lyndon B. Johnson, where he said, I'm going to lose the South for the next 50 years when he signed the Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Act. That was because they were dog whistling. At that time, the Democrats, the Dixiecrats as they were called, they were always dog whistling, talking about how the black man, the red man, the Spanish man, someone is keeping you down.
Of course, they want to keep you down. Because they don't want to share their wealth with you.
Yeah, but they deflect it to someone else.
To cut their lawn.
Of course.
That's what they want.
Yeah, but they deflect it onto someone else, and that's what they're... As long as they can blame someone else, then it's fine. I mean, as a African-American, I can blame the so-called white man, because the white man's pretty evil. They're pretty bad.
Well... Now you're stereotyping the white man.
Well, I wish I was. A stereotype isn't generally true.
Well, it depends how you were brought up, I guess.
That is true. I mean, but you do know that you're not white.
I'm not white?
No, you're not white.
What am I?
You're Jewish.
Oh, that's right. I was black to begin with.
Exactly.
You want to see my tan line?
But I mean, and the thing about it is, and I keep telling this to a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm German, so I'm white. I was like, do you know at a time in America, you weren't considered white. You became white.
Who was the KKK guy that was on...
Dave Chappelle.
No, a black lady runs a show. And they did a...
Is it Oprah?
No, it wasn't Oprah. It was some other...
Wendy Williams?
Maybe it was Wendy Williams or whatever. I don't remember. But they did a DNA test.
Oh, he turned out he was black.
He was 15% black.
Oh, he had to be. He had to be just pissing bricks.
And this is the asshole that was run... They actually... I believe it was either Idaho or the state of Washington. Mm-hmm. This guy went out of town.
Oh, and they burned his house down.
Because
don't come back here.
They didn't want any neo-Nazis in their town, which was shocking to me.
Well, because it's generally the reverse.
So at least thank God for those people who understand that the Donald Trump is the seed of poisoning of America. Well, he's already poisoned. He's in full bloom. And the fucking morons that support him, I can't believe these people. I can't believe they lost their sons or their grandfather or whatever in a war fighting for the United States, and they're supporting this piece of garbage.
But you didn't got to remember, if you're still a Trump supporter, after he told you, now you remember when the coronavirus first came out, this moron was talking about inject this poison into your body, inhale this, swallow bleach, and they were like, that sounds like a good idea. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, let me tell you, when I go home at night, I drink some bleach, but it's called vodka.
Absolutely not even close.
I'm sure it bleaches something.
That is true.
But it's it's not a chemical.
Well, it is a chemical. Most everything is a chemical. But I will say this, and it's the saddest thing. If you're willing to die for a man that you've never spoken to, he doesn't speak well of people. He does not speak well of any of these people, his followers. He hates them. He hates them to the core.
Yes.
He hates them.
But they are his enablers.
Could you imagine if people were like, I will die for Barack Obama? The things that the media would be saying, CNN, MSNBC, freaking Fox News, they would be having a field day.
Well, it's not explainable to me how somebody can blindly follow this guy who doesn't. How stupid are they? They can't recognize the fact that they're being used.
I'm pretty sure they know, but I think that they don't want to. They don't care.
His businesses depend on stupid, greedy people.
Of course. They would have failed.
Every investor in his projects, 90% of them lost money.
Of course.
Because what he does is he does a condo project, as an example. Mm-hmm. He gets investors to put up $50 million.
Okay.
He gets the bank to put up $150 million.
Uh-huh.
He has a management fee that he takes out up front.
Of course.
Where is his incentive to make that project successful?
He's never.
There is no more.
He's never been successful.
Right.
His father was successful, and he was a horrible bigot.
But his father
was a criminal too.
I'm not going there because I don't know anything about his father.
Oh, I know quite a bit.
Okay, but his father built properties and stuck with it and became very successful because the projects were successful. Donald, on the other hand, takes his money up front and says, "Fuck you" to the back.
I mean, how many?
But look what he does. The tax law says that even though he did not put any monetary, no money into the project, he still takes the tax write-off.
Of course.
When the project fails.
Of course. But again, that goes down to the corruption of our own government itself to even write a tax law that allows you to do that. I mean, they enabled this monster.
Yeah. You know, this guy Mnuchin.
Steve Mnuchin?
Yeah. What a piece of crap he is.
But he was always a piece of crap.
He's an enabler.
Of course.
Okay? We had to go through massive amounts of paperwork to get a lousy $20,000.
Oh, for the PPP thing?
Yeah, for the PPP thing. Okay? Where it's barely going to do the payroll or help us with the payroll.
Of course.
And if we don't accelerate the payroll, we're going to have to pay back the $20,000. Okay? Where a giant corporation,
billions,
who knows how much they got, because
he's not telling anybody.
He's not going to.
No, he's not going to tell anybody. He's got no reason to
divulge it, and he's. What are they hiding? Which one of Trump's businesses got $100 million?
This to me totally disproves that saying that everybody says the country would be better run by businessmen. No.
I disagree with that.
I disagree with that.
Because if I was running the country, I wouldn't do what Donald Trump has done.
Yeah, but you don't think like a vicious businessman. You work to provide for your family. You don't work to provide like I need to be a multi-billionaire. That's not what you're looking for.
With the in our industry, you only get a very small number of people that care about the business.
Exactly. That's
all they care about is their own little pocket. But they don't realize that if they do a super job for us,
they make more.
The business will get bigger.
Of course, and they'll make more.
And then I won't want to lose that person. And then I'm going to want to pay that person some more money.
Of course, because then you'll keep them. That's common sense.
The rest of them that are down there, like the one that disappeared a few weeks ago. Well, I can't mention any names.
Oh, well, you can't because then I'd have to cut it out.
Right. But all he did was complain, oh, the chainsaw's a piece of shit, or the drill's a piece of shit, but it works.
That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
And all he did was poison every other employee that was here.
That's true. That's true.
Because he didn't get a raise. Why didn't he get a raise? I don't want to tell you how many times he texted David and said, oh, I'm going to be a few minutes late. I have to stop for gas, or I have to stop for cigarettes, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. And then he'd complain because he worked for 3 minutes past 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he was always 10, 15, 20 minutes late in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why didn't he do what I did? On my way home, I stopped for gas.
I do that too. I don't know why.
Right.
Just the way it is.
Right. Why do you have to when you're rushed in the morning? Why do you have to stop for gas then?
Well, I guess it's a different mentality because remember, another person didn't think that way either.
But the funniest part, that the person we're talking about, his other half, worked was not there when he got home.
That's true.
So why was he in such a rush to get home that he couldn't stop for 5 minutes to get gasoline?
That's a good question. I mean,
or cigarettes.
I mean, the Publix is right there. The other stores are right there. That's how I understand. So I really don't have an argument about that. And I mean, it's true. It makes sense. But again, that goes back to the fact that you're not a cutthroat businessman. You're not like that other company that will literally kill you because that's not how you think.
No.
So
maybe that's I'm a bad businessman.
That is apparently what it is. Even if I was a businessman, I know for a fact I would be a bad businessman. I know it for a fact because the way that I think isn't about X's and O's and money on a spreadsheet. I think more about
I think about money all the time.
Yeah, but it's not in context of.
I have to make payroll on Friday.
Exactly. That's
okay.
You're not making money because you want the money. You're making money because I got to pay this guy. I got to pay this guy.
Right.
But now, if you were to go to that other company, you know what company I'm talking about. All he wants is that money. That's all he cares about. And he wants it in his hand. He doesn't care if he drops a crane on you.
Right. Oh yeah.
But that's not the kind of businessman you are. So I don't look at you as a businessman. I just don't. I see you as more like a roughneck guy that just happens to be in a higher position. That's it. You're just like the rest of us.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
Now, if you were wearing an Armani suit, pulling up in a Rolls Royce, and
that's it. That when I leave here, I go to my Rolls Royce parking spot.
Do you?
Yes.
Yes. I've seen all your vehicles. I didn't see the Rolls Royce. We got to look up that one.
You know what? I don't think I would ever buy a Rolls Royce.
I wouldn't either.
Because it's bad enough they wanted $280 to change the oil in my Audi.
Rolls Royce would be like $1,000 or something.
I mean, I can't believe that people pay $280 for an oil change.
I think, I don't know because I don't know the engines. I don't know anything about engines, but I think that it's pretty difficult to get in there on a lot of these vehicles. Like the Bobcat, it's pretty hard to get in there to change the oil.
On the trucks.
Yeah, it was really hard. Really,
they want $150
really
to change the oil in a diesel and put a new filter on. Okay, so given there's 3 gallons of oil in the diesel.
Yeah, but how much is diesel oil?
So at Walmart, a filter for the truck
$10, $15?
Is $8.
$8.
The same filter at the auto supply is $27. Okay. And then the oil is, I think, $11 or $12 a gallon.
Okay, so that's what, $36?
So let's call it 36. And $10 for the filter, $46.
Okay.
And it takes you or
an
Joe
hour
or whatever.
So $15.
Okay.
$15 for that.
No, well, yeah, but you got to pay workman's comp. You got to pay. Call it $20. Okay. So we're into it for what? $50, $60?
A little more than that, about $80-something right now.
Okay. But now, so we're saving $50 a truck times 4 trucks.
That's correct.
That's
the $200 per oil change. You got to do like every few months, right?
Right.
Yeah, save that. It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
I understand. It's understandable. But again, that doesn't make you a businessman, though. But you're right.
Well, it makes me a small entrepreneur that wants to make sure that the business continues.
Exactly. And it's not like you're doing it, again, you're not in this company, this this avenue of work to become a millionaire. It's just not going to happen.
I'd like to.
But you just want to retire. You've been trying to call yourself retired for a while.
Yeah, but if I retired, I'd have to stay home. Whoa. then I might be in jail.
You do know that at some point she might listen to this.
Well, she knows.
At least you're honest about it.
She actually admits it.
That you'd kill her if you had a chance?
Yeah, she's
okay, so if she disappears, I need to turn you in quickly to the FBI.
Yeah, there's a few crazy cards in that deck.
Well, I don't know. I mean, then you got to ask yourself, was it originally crazy, or did it become crazy from dealing with you?
I think of myself as quite normal.
I can see that.
And but what is normal?
That is true. What is normal?
What is normal?
What is? Alan says he thinks you has PTSD.
PTSD?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I have that.
You forget you have that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have that. And I'm beginning to think that all my skin cancers are a result of Agent Orange.
It's quite possible. And that is possible. So sad.
Very possible. Yeah.
Oh,
but if I went back in there to the VA, by the time that I could get my disability increased, Alan is
just adding on.
Is there a freaking echo in this room?
I told him to join in on the discourse, and he seems to want to. He's over there.
So, I if I'm not dead, they will have stolen Mnuchin, and Trump will have taken every dime from Social Security, from Medicare, from Medicaid, and everything else to fund their tax breaks for the ultra wealthy.
Who don't even want it. At this point, they're like, that is the greatest thing that I feel like Mr. What is his name? The wealthiest man, the wealthy guy, the one that does really well with the stock market.
Yeah, the one
Buffett.
Yeah,
he was like, stop giving us tax breaks. They're going to revolt. At least he's smart enough to know that those pitchforks are coming.
If who was it, Louis the 14th that got his head chopped off?
Got his head chopped off.
Trump is on that. He is on the dictator road.
Yeah.
He is going down that path, and to go back to his flock of stupids, okay? They don't realize that if this guy gets into office again, he will, like the police force that showed up at the with their badges covered up and the secret police force.
Yes,
he will surround himself.
Did you see how he was calling the Secret Service the SS? Secret Service is not called the SS.
Well, he called it.
Of course, he called it that.
But if you look at every other dictator how did we get back to Trump all of a sudden? We were talking about my Agent Orange.
Well, we started out at COVID.
But see, here's what his stupid flock doesn't understand. He is going to surround himself with a very highly paid Gestapo-like team.
It's going to do some damage.
And then the next step is they're worried about the Second Amendment. These guys will come knocking on your door one day because you bought a pistol 14 years ago and take it. Then what are you going to do? Okay? And then when he does that enough, it will be a totalitarianism state. It will be North Korea. It will be China. It will be whatever he wants it to be. Are you reading the news?
I am. a 20-year-old person, a bank made a mistake. He was supposed to have $730 deposited into his account,
and they took it out of his.
They took $730,000
out of the guy's
out of his account,
but he didn't have $730.
He's in the red, $730,000, and they're not fixing it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to read the entire thing, but that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, it's believable when you think about it.
Well,
that's funny. Public supermarkets will not allow Black Lives Matter garb, even if it's on a mask, in their Publix. It's a weird thing to do.
Well,
goddamn you, Publix.
It should be more like all lives matter than just black or just
all lives
orange
matter. No, because all lives matter is more racist. Because if you say all lives matter, that's true, but why is it that black people are being killed disproportionately?
Because nothing has ever changed since the beginning, and nothing ever does change. And black people really haven't helped it. They've tried, but when you have a person with 6 kids with 6 fathers and she's not married,
yeah, but
that's not helping any.
Yeah, but that's not only black people that happens to.
Well, I don't know.
Quite a bit. I mean, what is his name? Geraldo?
Mm-hmm.
Is Geraldo? You know how many children Geraldo has? 7. You know how many wives he has?
He likes screwing.
0. And he likes to go to black men and say, "Where are you? Where's the fathers? Was it you have 7 children with 7 different women? You're not married to a single one of them. You're on child support for all of them." And you're talking about
Geraldo Rivera? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
How many kids has he got?
7.
7.
7 kids with 7 different women all over the United States. And he likes to go to black men.
Sounds like my hero.
That's not how it works. But the reason why blacks aren't helped is it's systemic. The Democrats don't help blacks. The Republicans don't help blacks. It's a systemic issue.
But at a certain point in time, don't you, as a black man, have to say, my kid, I'm going to put away $2, $5, whatever, to send my baby to college.
But you got to say to yourself, the average black man in the country makes $6 an hour.
Is that what
that's the average? So what are you going to put away $2 an
hour? You're being overpaid. Is what you're telling me.
Yes, obviously. I mean, personally, me myself, because of my situation, I put away quite a bit per month.
Right.
But that's not the average. It's sad.
I know, because they keep sending me your bank statement.
Did you know I got now this is off topic, but did you know I got a letter randomly from the IRS was saying, if you want to change this, either one of you or your ex-wife, if you want to change this, all you gotta do is call and ask us. I was like, call and ask you what? To change what? wait, what am I trying to change?
Sell one of your Rolls Royces.
I can sell the tires on my scooter. Oh, it's fantastic. We have gotten so far off a topic, it's not even funny. All right, let me see. Oh, did you see all of those reports that have been coming out about how police officers are saying, oh, I went to Shake Shack and I drank, my milkshake. They said they put bleach in it. Oh,
what was in it?
Bleach. Like somebody poured bleach in it.
They poured bleach at the Shake Shack.
This is what they did. This is what the officers were saying. And then the officers are saying, oh, I went to McDonald's. Somebody, spit in my McMuffin and I did blah, blah, blah. And they've been saying this because they're trying to drum up like sympathy for the police officers or whatever. They've been doing they've been reporting this everywhere. Fox News, MSNBC, CNN. And it's, everybody's like, oh my God, look how terrible these protests are.
All they're doing is making it more prevalent, if in fact they are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
All they're doing is making it more prevalent by
telling them that it's happening.
On the web and wherever they're...
But the problem is people then investigate them. The moment that you say that this happened, the city investigates. And it turned out every single one of them, not a single one of them are true. They're all lies. Police officers are literally lying to change public opinion about the current, what are they called, protests. Woman...
When I was a kid,
mm-hmm.
I think my first car
mm-hmm.
was a 1950
Jesus
Dodge or Chrysler 4-door, maybe it was a DeSoto 4-door car that I bought from my uncle for $100.
Mm-hmm.
The car must have been 5 years. Well, it had, let's see, if it was a 51.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be 10 or 12 years old. And I go to the milkshake place, and as I'm pulling out, a cop pulls me over, and he says, that muffler's no good. I go, what do you mean it's no good? He says, step on the gas. I step on the gas. He says, step on it harder. I step on the gas harder. And he says, he gives me a muffler ticket.
Was it making a sound?
No, well, whatever sound it made,
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, that was my run-in with the police. And the guy was just looking to give me a ticket for no reason.
Of course. It's a power trip. I can see it.
So, but it never dawned on me that the cop was doing it just to write a ticket because he had nothing else to do.
Yes.
And now it seems that the police go out of their way
mm-hmm.
to stop a black guy for no reason, no valid reason anyway, other than the fact that the guy's black.
Yes, that's kind of how it is. I mean, like, you know how often, you know how long I've lived over where I live? About 4 or 5 years. You know how many times I get stopped by a police officer?
Yeah, probably.
About 5-6 times a year.
Yeah.
And it's generally people
what are you doing here?
Yes. That's what it generally is. That is generally what it is.
I got it.
So I will tell you, my run-ins with the cops, I don't break any laws. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do anything.
When I had the welding shop down in Pompano,
mm-hmm.
we had a guy come in. His name was Randy. We used to call him Black Randy.
Black Randy.
Well, that's what he was called.
Yeah.
And he always used to say, "Now, Eric, come on now, man. You got to give me that cheaper." I go, "Randy, there's the price list. I'm giving it to you at the same price as every other marine contractor buys it." He said, "Now, Eric, you trying to keep the black man down." That's what he would always say. And I go, "Randy, here's the price list. If you wish to buy from us, that's the price. If you don't.
Exactly. You do or you don't.
You do or you don't." And he was funny as hell. He was a funny guy.
I just find it to be.
But when the white trash broke into the place and stole one of my trucks with all the tools, he was the first one that called me on the phone and said, "Hey man, your truck's over here. You better come
pick it up.
Come pick it up before they pop the rest of the stuff."
The thing about it that I've always said is people love to say how violent and evil black people are. You can't enslave a violent race. That's why the Native Americans were never enslaved. There was a lot of them.
Well, they killed a lot of Native Americans.
And the Native Americans were a lot more vigorous when it came down to their their freedoms. So you can't enslave a Native American because they will kill you. They don't. You want to take my freedom? I will kill you. That's very American.
That should be their response.
You would think so, but now when it comes down to blacks don't do that. Blacks are very loyal. They are some of the loyalest, just old hound dogs. I hate it. I just hate it. You know, and that kind of stuff just wears me out. And I get so violently angry when officers go out of their way to do something evil to them. Like with the protest, they are saying, oh, they're looting. There's so much being reported.
But the looters are only there. They're not protesting.
They're not protesting. They're there for the looting. To loot. That's what they want. They want to loot.
And you can't take all black people and say they're looters.
Exactly.
But that's what happens.
But that's exactly what happens. And another problem is have you seen the reporting? Oh, well, because you watch a lot of leftist news, so I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
But I also watch Fox News.
I tried watching it, and I wouldn't say
I treat it as a comedy hour.
I wish I could laugh at it, but I don't.
Well,
I think because
it's frustration for me.
It's death for me because they intend for me to die. Very scary.
Well, like I said before, they want you to be uneducated.
Yeah.
They don't want you to make a living wage.
That's true.
They want you where you are so that you can perform a service for them at a reasonable price forever. Exactly. And that's, but why do the poor white people think that they're the rich white people?
It's not that it's like with the death tax. The point isn't that you have it now. You have aspirations that eventually you will have it. So you got to be against that death tax now. So that when you do one day become a multi-millionaire, you never got to deal with it.
Did you see the Trumpies when he announced, and we're getting rid of the death tax, and they were cheering wildly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember exactly what the number is, but it's somewhere around $5 million.
It's around $5-10 million.
Okay, yeah. No, it's closer to 5. Mm-hmm. Okay, there was always part of the death tax thing with the IRS.
Yes,
the first $5 million is not taxable.
Correct. Anything over it is.
Then it is taxable. I think it was at 50% or whatever it was. Okay, so as being curious, I went on Google and I typed in how many families in America have more than $5 million. It's only 3,500.
Yes, that's like less than 1%. That's not even 1%.
Right.
But again, it's that aspiration.
Maybe it was 35,000. 35,000. That's it. It was 35,000.
Even if it's 35,000,
that have more than $5 million.
Even if it's 35,000.
So, if you have $5 million coming to you,
mm-hmm.
and this is one thing that I've always marveled at Donald Trump. If he inherited $400 million,
it's a lot more than that, but yeah.
Okay, let's just call it $400 million, and he simply put it into 5% tax-free bonds.
Oh, he'd be rolling. He'd be a billionaire.
He could play golf every single day.
You could play golf,
and he'd have a lot more money than he has now. But he pissed most of it away.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, 400 million is more than enough for you, your family, your family's family, your family's
5 million is.
What are you? The 5 million.
If you inherited $5 million,
that's good for a single family, though.
Okay, tax free.
Yes.
You get
250 million. I mean, 250,000
a year. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I can't spend $250,000 a year. I can't.
But that's a single family. You can't bring that onto your family as well. But if you have $400 million, you can disperse that through your family for years to come.
Right.
And all they got to do is keep your principal. Nothing else. Just don't ever touch your principal.
Well, that's why all the people in New York, when they first came out with the New York lottery, and people every week somebody'd win $1 million. Oh, they were filing bankruptcy at the end of the first year
because they spent all that money.
They spent all the money that they won. Instead of putting the $1 million in the bank and getting $50,000 a year, tax-free, they could have lived forever on $1,000 a week.
That is just...
Which is not a bad income.
No, that's not. That's beautiful. I mean, that's like $50,000 is 2 middle-class jobs. That's 2 middle-class jobs right there. A middle-class job is about $25,000 to $30,000 a year. That's a middle-class job. You got 2 middle-class jobs given to you for free. Here you go. Bam. That's like you and your wife.
Right.
So you're getting the income from you and your wife, and you can keep working if you want.
But that's how stupid people are.
I
they
understand.
Run right out and they pay cash for a car.
I understand.
They pay cash for a house.
Yeah.
And then they have nothing left. But if they kept the $1 million and bought the house and paid the mortgage, they'd still have money left off at the end.
That's true.
And still have their $1 million.
That is true.
What's wrong with them?
Well, but you got to look at it.
I mean, I'm not Warren Buffett, but But you got to look at it. They don't teach economics like that in school anymore. They don't teach anything in school anymore.
Exactly. But that's the problem. All the money is going to the private sector. They're expecting somebody like Bill Gates to come out and save technology, to come out and save schools. They got LeBron James out there to save schools. That's the job of the government. The government should be saving schools. The government should be teaching people how to spend money, but they don't want to.
Why does the NFL have classes in teaching the
players,
the new players,
to save their money,
keep the $2 million signing bonus but no. When I took Leslie to buy a
new vehicle,
a car. And we're in
the BMW?
No, an Audi.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And the Audi has that little
the RX
R8.
Yes,
R8, something like that.
I'll cut this out and edit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I can't go, but I need you to do something. When you get there, when you go in, and you start going down the long aisle till your left, right at the very first end, just past the TVs, they have security cameras. Just take a picture of the box, and the price is like two or three different ones. All right. The price and the name of the, each one. There's only 2 or 3. All right, thanks. Bye. Where were we?
The NFL.
Where?
The NFL.
NFL. So I'm in there buying a $35,000 whatever.
R8.
No, R8.
You said R8.
If I got into her car or into an R8, I'd have to bring my crane home to get me out of it.
It's too small.
I won't go in her car. But anyway, so while I'm in there, this guy comes in, and he's big. He's serious. Big guy. He buys 2 R8s.
Really? So you're going to use them like skates, I guess.
Paid them sticker.
Just like right there, bam. I got the money.
Yeah. Oh, give me the convertible and give me the coupe.
Just wasting
Wrote him
money.
a check. Because this whole thing happened
within seconds.
Buying a car is a 4-hour experience.
That's if you're negotiating and talking.
Yeah.
But he just came in. I'll take that one and I'll take that one
and that one.
Here's your money. I'm going home.
Yep. What kind of asshole is that?
A person with more money than
Brian. If I had $2 million in a signing bonus in my bank, I'd say, what's the best interest rate you can give me?
That's true.
He'd still have the $2 million or whatever after taxes or whatever. Okay? And he'd still have the cars.
But wouldn't it be better for you to put your $2 million, because you have American Express. They have a banking. Why don't you just put your money in American Express? When you make more?
Because you can go to a wealth management guy and say, I have $2 million.
Depends. If his fiduciary, I'll go to him. If he's not, I won't do it.
And he gets a fee for managing your money.
Yeah.
And he's entitled to it because you can't sit there
can't do it yourself.
And watch the stock market or the bond market or the whatever every day. And he, at the time, could have gotten you 5% municipal bonds, and you just don't buy a Tulsa, Oklahoma bond. You buy 50 bonds in 50 cities to where if one of them busted out,
yeah, you're fine. You don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right. But he didn't do that.
That's true.
He'd still have that $2 million today.
That's true.
Where was somebody helping this guy?
But that's the point, is they don't want to help you. The whole point is to, you know how like companies will hire that one middle management idiot, just put him in a high position to make everybody else around him think you can be that high position idiot one of these days. That's what that is. Because statistically, 90% of players that play in the NFL, they're broke after about 4 years.
Yes.
And that's what they want. They want that statistic. You know,
that's what I don't. I mean, my son David and I argue about this all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going, why are you paying a ball player $50-100 million a year when the average guy can't take his wife and 2 kids to a ball game? And I'm not specifying which ball game, which type of sport. When a beer is $8,
that's cheap,
and a hot dog is $5, $8, I don't know. I mean, because
they're way more than that. But yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but when I was a kid, we'd go sit in the bleachers for 25 cents.
That is true. Peanuts used to be like 10
cents. Okay, but 25 cents then was a lot of money, but it wasn't $1. So if my mom gave me 4 quarters, I could buy a hot dog,
and
a soda,
and
get in the ball game.
Yeah, you could do pretty well.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the reason why they have so much money is it was negotiated that the owners cannot keep all the proceeds. So that is that your interview?
Some guy's supposed to come for an interview.
Oh, I see. Maybe him. Because there's some random guy. I mean, if you want, we can add that to the podcast. If not, I'll just end it when he enters. If he enters, he might be calling you because he's calling someone.
If the phone rings, we know it's him.
Gotta watch for the phone.
So anyway, have we spoken enough today about this stuff? Or
yeah. I mean, we can once.
Are you going to edit this?
I'm going to have to edit a lot of it out. I mean, I'm not going to edit out all the funny stuff, but I try to edit out your conversations on the phone. I try to remove those, and then I'm going to put it on YouTube. So if you want to listen to it on YouTube, you can.
Yeah, but who listens to the radio?
A lot of people. I mean, you listen to podcasts all the time on the radio.
Okay.
I mean, you do it on YouTube. I can listen to most of my podcasts are on YouTube. I mean, I listen to like Majority Report. I listen to Ring of Fire.
Yeah, but how many working guys listen to the majority report.
Well, the thing about it is they just haven't found anyone they can listen to that they can relate to.
Put us on a right-wing wacko website.
Oh, so we can get. So we've already put our names out there. The moment that they get ahead, oh my God, there's a darky and a Jew. Oh,
it's a tag team duo.
Oh my God! You know what? It'll be fine because at least I would say that we'd both be hanging from the same tree. But
that's why you like palm trees so much.
That's the perfect thing.
You can't put the rope around it. You can't put the rope around it.
Oh my God! Speaking of hanging, did you?
You what?
I'm going to pick up my car.
Oh, is that must be his Uber? Is what that is? That's your Uber?
No, that's from Kia.
Oh, Kia. Nice. Okay, we'll see you. All right, we'll see you in a minute, Al. But did you see the reports in California? The two young African American men that were hung, and the officers said that it was suicide. They didn't do an autopsy. They didn't do an investigation. They just came out and said it's suicide, and then when everybody got angry,
you can get on a rickety chair, tie a rope around there, put it around your neck, and then jump and hope the chair collapses.
And then they got mad when everyone got angry about it. So then they were like, "We're going to do the investigation," and then they were like, "Okay, we jumped to conclusion. It wasn't a hanging. I mean, it wasn't suicide." You know what that reminds me of?
I didn't hear about it.
Really? Yo, it's everywhere, especially in California. It's on fire.
What in the 60s, I guess it was. I decided to drive to my uncle's house in the San Fernando Valley in California.
Oh, that's not good.
And so I drive out to Los Angeles. I won't go into details with my car breaking down or any of the other shit. And my uncle was a pretty wacky guy. He says he'd be showing me Hollywood, and there would be all kinds of guys with signs that Jesus is going to save you, and he'd stop the car, get out, call them all kinds of fucking names. I mean, he'd go crazy. So then one evening after dinner, he says, "Come on, we're going to take a ride." And we go up into the hills.
Oh, God, that don't sound good.
And he said, "We're getting out. We're walking to the end of this road. There's a cul-de-sac at the end, and it comes back down." He says, "You be real quiet. There's a Klan rally going on."
You two went to a Klan, like,
and two asshole Jews are walking into the
Klan. Why would you do that?
Well, he wanted to show me the real world, and he did. And then when I went into the army, it was at the end, I think, of November. And I was indoctrinated in Lower Manhattan. And then they send you to Fort.
Don't call it indoctrinated.
Yeah, that's what brainwashed, whatever it was. And then I go to Fort Jackson for evaluation, and you get your uniforms and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then they sent me to Fort Gordon in Georgia for basic training. And now it's like,
I'm thinking I'm not going to use it.
I'll leave shortly, yes. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Georgia.
So I'm in Fort Gordon, and it's probably December the 15th or something like that. And here they come and go. Now, this is during the Vietnam buildup. They go, who wants to go home for Christmas? You can take your 2-week leave because you get a 2-week leave in the Army.
Yes.
Who wants to go home? And I would have to say that 98% of the people in the barracks wanted to go home for Christmas.
Okay.
Maybe it was December 20th, 17th, 18th.
Yeah,
20th,
closing
whatever.
Closing
because you didn't have to come back until January 5th or whatever.
Yeah, after New Year's or whatever. Yeah.
So the only two people that are left in the barracks are myself and this other kid. And he was supposed to stoke. There was a coal-burning stove.
So like a boiler. Was it a boiler?
You stoke the boiler, I guess, for the heat, whatever. And it's cold, So I'm sleeping, and this is a barracks from World War II,
so it's got to be like drafty.
2 floors. And the son of a bitch fell asleep. I wake up in the morning, it's fucking freezing. So I decide that the safest thing for me to do is I'm going down there and sleeping. So now I'm not going to take my mattress off of my bunk and lay it on that dirty floor down there. So I grab somebody else's mattress.
You are a horrible person.
And I go down there and I put a bunch of coal in there, and he's already sleeping. Prick. So anyway, so we get through our 2 weeks or whatever. So now everybody comes back. And this one guy says to me, "Hey, y'all want to see my Christmas pictures?" Sure. Right? And he's got like a 3-ring binder, and here's my cousin Bob, and my father Bob, and my other father Bob, and that's Billy Bob over there. And now I flip the next page, and here's 4 guys standing there in their clan robes.
Oh.
He says, "Yeah, and those are our clan robes." Oh, that's great. Yeah. The clan is alive and well.
Oh yeah, they're very healthy. They're very healthy. They're doing very well, actually. I mean, there's been
Teddy was interviewing guys to work. And he went on this guy's Facebook page. This is the day before yesterday. And here's the guy standing there with his
big gun,
AR-15, and then he's got 2 pistols, and they go, "Oh, I'm not firing that guy."
Oh God, Jesus!
So I said, "Teddy, I don't think you should hire that guy."
Because he's
I'm a gun guy. I mean,
well, you are a gun owner. You're not a gun guy.
No, I'm not a gun guy.
Yeah.
But nobody should come near my house with guns because I'm shooting back.
I mean, me personally, I have a huge aversion. I mean, I've collected guns before. I think that a lot of them are beautiful. Like, I've had a collection of Desert Eagles. I think they're very nice looking.
I have a PPK.
Walter PPK?
Walter, yeah.
Really?
And I have one of the last Walthers made in Germany before they were bought out or taken over or whatever, bought the rights to the gun from an American company.
Yeah.
So, and I think I only fired it once or twice.
I have never And like my collection of guns are still wherever the heck I left them. I don't remember, which is sad. I've never once fired a gun. I've never fired a gun in anger. I've never fired a gun in happiness. Just don't fire guns. I don't like the idea. And I believe that maybe it's because I have an addictive personality. I feel that if I ever got addicted to firing guns, I will never stop.
You think it's an addiction?
It's got to be. It's got to be an addiction at this point.
Well, hunting is definitely out of my realm of.
Yes.
Unless I'm starving to death.
Yeah.
I'm not shooting an animal.
Yeah.
And hanging it up in my
cutting it. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay. But on the other side of that coin, I can see somebody going deer hunting if you need to stock your freezer for the winter.
But that's not what they
do. I mean, if I lived in a northern state, perhaps, and elk was a staple of my diet, I can understand it. And meat prices being what they are today, if you're going to slaughter an animal and freeze it or cure it for the winter, I got it. But to just kill an animal to cut the head off?
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of us city slickers do. We're not those good old Georgia boys. Those Georgia boys, they're going to
eat this stuff, and that's fine with me.
Yeah,
I have no problem with it.
But us city slickers that go out there.
But if you're some fucking dentist from the city, like that asshole that
shot the lion,
killed the lion for no reason.
Yes.
Just so he could say, I killed the lion.
Yeah, but we live in a world of pretending. You want to pretend to be something. Like I keep saying, a person who wants to look like a construction worker but doesn't want to be a construction worker. I like the guy that I.
People are not going to listen to 2 hours of you and I talking about nothing. Especially when I got to take a leak.
All right, well, we can close it out.
I think we want to close this out for today.
All right, what do you want to try again? We can try again tomorrow. We'll try again next week.
Let's see if we get some kind of response.
Oh, I don't know if we're going to get responses, but I'm pretty sure I can get a couple people to listen to it, at least on online, and then they'll tell me what they think about it. Because generally, you don't get responses. You generally get like negative responses, like.
Well, hey, I'm coming down there to wherever you are. We're going to kill that.
We're going to kill
that bastard and that Jew.
We got to get him. All right, well, this has been a good discourse, and we'll have another conversation. I don't know if it'll be next week. Hell, we can do it tomorrow for all I care. And I'll add it on to the discourse, and we'll keep going.
Let's see how this thing... and you got to tell me where it is so I can listen.
Yeah.